Welcome today. We are going to be talking to Tenny Poole, and she's going to be covering Managing Change for Strategic Human Resources Professional. Tenny, I'd like to turn it over to you if you'd like to get started with our conversation today.
I'd love to. Thank you very much, Julie. What I'd like to talk about first is, so I don't have, oh, okay, I don't have control. Okay, let's look at our agenda for just a moment and talk about why is this important? Why is the work of change important to human resources professionals? To do that, we'll look at a couple of HR competency models. Then we'll look at some approaches to change that are commonplace. We'll spend a minute talking about why change fails and why is it important to us to be thoughtful about how we approach change. A few pieces of information from the knowledge that we've gained in the area of neuroscience, and then we'll spend most of our time talking about a particular approach to change called appreciative inquiry, and we'll do an introduction to appreciative inquiry. So appreciative inquiry is a positive, sustainable approach that brings about successful change. So why is it important for HR? If you look at almost any list of strategic human resources competencies, you will find something about change listed in them. The reasons why this is true is because most of the challenges that we experience with change are relative to the people. And if we are to be the people experts in our organizations, then change belongs in our arena. So let's look at a competency model by David Ulrich. Many of you may know him. He's a big human resources champion at the University of Michigan. And these are some of the competencies that he says that he thinks are important in strategic human resources professionals. And I've highlighted the one in change. We're not going to talk about all the details of the others, but he calls it change champion. And to be able to help make change happen at an institutional level, at an individual level, human resources partner, and this is his quote, human resources partner to create organizations that are agile, flexible, responsive, and are able to make transformation happen in many ways. Clearly, we all recognize that change is around us all day long. And our ability and those organizations that are able to harness change and adapt to change are those organizations that are going to have a competitive advantage. And again, just to reiterate, what's really important here is that change is really about changing the mindsets and behaviors of our people. So then there are a few other areas here, but I think what's important is you see that one of the experts in the field of HR sees that being a change champion is important. So let's look at another competency model. If many of you may be familiar with a book written by Dana Gaines Robinson called Strategic Business Partners. And these are, she has actually a fairly complicated list of competencies, but in her technical and process competencies, change management skill, again highlighted in green, change management skill, guide others to identify and take required actions in support of a performance change initiative. And of course, what is that? I think that's any kind of change that's required to change the performance of the organization, whether that's on an individual, whether it's a strategic change in the business direction, whether it's the implementation of a new technical platform, whatever the change is that we need to get adoption and we need to get alignment on is the change that I think she's referring to.
Are you there, Tenny?
I'm here, but it's not,
Okay.
I can't forward the slide for whatever reason.
Okay, just